Hello, welcome back to the Road to Episode 7, my ongoing series where I chart the road to release of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens on December 16, 17, 18, 2015, depending on where you are in the world. And that intro never gets any easier. I should probably just stop doing it, right? But I continue to do it because it is a force of habit. And speaking of a force of habit, no pun intended, the road to Episode 8, will it be happening? In the last video I put out there, whether you people want to see me do another kind of news series in the build-up to the next Star Wars episode film, which will be Episode 8 in May of 2018, I believe. I think. No, 2016. No, 2017. 2017. May 2017. And the resounding opinion was yes. Again, wasn't a landslide, there wasn't a load of comments, but there was quite a few people, about 6, 7, 8 people, who said, yeah, do it. So that's enough for me. If at least a handful of people are interested, then I'll do it. It's not like this series takes me too much effort, unless I'm doing a video like this where I put in loads of screenshots and stuff, but generally I don't need to put like loads of effort into these videos. So yeah, I'll do the Road to Episode 7, Road to Episode 8, I mean, there's just so much Star Wars stuff going on right now that it's working my brain down. It really is. It's just grinding my brain into mush with Star Wars in this until there's nothing left, and all I am at the end of it is just a brainless, mindless consumer who just buys all Star Wars stuff. Just kidding, that's not going to happen, but we are less than a month away from the film now. And yeah, Road to Episode 8, people who might be tuning into these videos now in the build-up to like the past couple of weeks might not know that I've been doing this series for 3 years now, and there've been like gaps of months between videos, so it's not always this rapid fire. So it'll be the same with the Road to Episode 8, I'm sure. So and of course there's a much shorter wait. It's about 1.5 years until Episode 8, not 3 years, so it'll probably be like 50 videos as opposed to over 100. So yeah, I'm going to do it. A few people said don't call it the Road to Episode 8, but I'm going to stick with what I know and kind of have a nice continuity, I guess, with it. And yeah, I'm going to do it. I don't know when I'll start it, but I will be doing the Road to Episode 8. You heard it here first. I asked you, you replied, I'm going to do it. Right, so the first thing to talk about in this video is the second TV spot. Now, again, there have been TV spots leading up to the first full trailer. There have been TV spots here and there, all sorts of stuff. There have been like behind the scenes Disney looks at the film, which have taken place in the UK and America with different clips. There was a behind the scenes clip that had like scenes from the trailer and scenes from behind the scenes of the film, and then there was a shot of Han saying, "We're home, Chewie, we're home," but it was a different take than on the trailer. Like in the trailer he's like, "Chewie, we're home." Whereas in like the new kind of behind the scenes he's like, "Chewie, we're home," and he's like, he's like, yeah, like, and it's like, whoa, okay, they're using a different cut for that. So it'd be interesting to see what take is used in the actual film. I don't think a HD version of that has surfaced yet, though. It's only like filmed off TV screen stuff. But there have been so many TV spots, and a lot of them are just recycle. They all recycle the same footage we've already seen in the other trailers, but they have some of them have new bits, some of them don't. So I'm just sticking to the ones that do have a substantial amount of new stuff in them. Okay, and so I'm calling this one TV spot number 2, but you can probably find it online as TV spot number 7 or 8 or 12 or 50. I don't know, but it's the one. Well, I don't even know how to describe it to you. But go on Star Wars' YouTube page. They've got them up there, I think. So that's where I downloaded this one from to get the screenshot. So we'll just call this TV spot number 2 because it's the second one I've covered. And yeah, I mean, it's the timeline of trailers and TV spots has become very muddled in the past couple of weeks. So it's another 30-second-ish one. Starts out much the same what we've seen on, the same kind of lines of dialogue, the same kinds of shots, but here's all the new shots. We have Rey kind of in the woods there, I guess, on the forest planet Takodona, maybe. Again, I always need to look up for that, because everyone seems to know it's called Takodona or Takodonia or something, and I've never heard it, so I guess maybe it's just fan speculation, maybe. I don't know if it's official, but the forest planet, which is obviously going to be like the middle part of the film, we see Rey running out and looking up at something, and in the next shot we see what is supposedly Maz Kanata's castle. The pirate Maz Kanata, played by Lupita Nyong'o, getting blown up by the First Order, and then the camera pans up and we see even more destruction of her castle, which is a pretty nice looking shot. And we see the back of Rey's head there. Then we cut to another shot from that scene where Rey, Finn and BB-8 are running away from the First Order and getting shot down. And again, at this point we could probably edit together the whole scene with all the trailers and stuff that they've put shots from this scene into. So yeah, we just see BB-8 and Rey and Finn running there in the distance with the smoke as people are shooting at them. And then we see them running towards this ship, which I believe is a new bit we haven't seen before. But when the ship gets blown up, I think we've seen that shot before in another trailer. If not, a very similar one of them in the distance with a big explosion. So we see a little bit more of that with the ship before it gets blown up, as you can see. Yeah, and then we see them kind of like, oh my god, I don't know whose ship it was. It could have been, I doubt it was hers, I doubt it was even his, because he seemed to crash land on the planet with a TIE fighter. So I don't know why they were running to that ship. Who knows? Maybe it was a ship that BB-8 was on. Interesting. Then we see Rey, and apologies to Daisy Ridley, but there was no there was no earthly way to get a screen grab from this particular shot in the trailer or TV spot without her looking, you know, odd. Let's put it that way. I mean, she's in a moment of peril and she's shouting, and yeah, I think she says, "Are you ready?" And then the next shot, we see Finn turning around saying, "For what?" And so we can see behind him there the desert of Jakku. So it seems like what's going to happen is they somehow get onto the Falcon, they fly it around, and so that whole scene that we've seen in all the trailers of the Falcon flying around, Rey is piloting the ship, right? So that shows us how obviously she has maybe a little bit of her grandfather's blood in her, you know, great pilot and all that. Same with Luke. You know, I mean, the ship is flown flawlessly in that, and she's just what, like an 18-year-old scavenger who's probably never flown a ship before. I guess she's got the little speeder, but yeah, her skills are clearly incredible behind the Falcon, unless they take off and they're on the you know, Jakku and stuff, and maybe Han Solo gets on, takes over, and that's where the good flying comes in. I don't know, but it seems to me that it's likely that it's Rey and Finn who are piloting the Falcon through the big Jakku chase sequence, which is going to be one of the big sequences in the film. Then we see another shot of Rey firing, looking angrily, firing a blaster on the forest planet, and I think this is a different shot. At first I thought they just flipped it horizontally from the other trailer, but it's framed a little bit differently, so I don't know whether it's just a different angle that cuts to it in the scene, or it's an alternate take, which is very commonplace in these kinds of films. You'll see stuff in the trailer that doesn't actually make it into the film, or like an alternate take is used. As I said before with the Han Solo "We're Home" line, we've seen two versions of that take already. And then this is the shot that really got everyone excited, which was Kylo Ren kind of deflecting, I should say, sorry, not reflecting, deflecting her blaster, I guess. It looks like that in the trailer. I mean, they could be, you know, fooling around and stuff, but he is deflecting blaster bolts, and he just does like a big swishing, like, oh, it just looks badass. You have to see it and watch the TV spot. And he swings the blade around, and then he has his hand out like that. He just looks... Adam Driver just is commanding that physical presence of Kylo Ren with such confidence. You know, I just buy his character just by seeing the way he moves. Forget the way he speaks. And again, that is a real... For me, it's telling of how great he is probably going to be. Fingers crossed. And then the final shot is a TIE fighter getting shot down in a big kind of dogfight over the island over the forest planet, and the TIE fighter crashes down into the water. Boom! The Force Awakens, the end of the trailer. So yeah, it's a pretty good one. I enjoyed it. Definitely getting that TV spot fatigue. And people are like, oh my god, showing too much. Think about it, they're just showing you little incidental moments of dialogue and more action scenes. I mean, it's not like they're giving away the plot point. It's not like it's like, okay, here's TV spot number 7. This is where Luke comes into it, and we're just going to spoil the ending. Like, I mean, they're not giving that much away with these TV spots, but it is. You do kind of feel like, you know, there's quite a few cool action shots. I would have mind not seeing and being fresh for in the film. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of action scenes and shots that we haven't seen that will surprise us in the film, but I just can't keep away from them. You know, it's hard. It's really hard. And there's another one that I'll talk about in the next video as well. So there we go. That's the TV spot. And the other thing I want to talk about, and there's so many things I want to talk about with the film, but I want to keep the videos down to at least 10 minutes. Well, 10 minutes at the most ish. Sometimes go over that, but yeah. The Force Awakens has made over $50 million already. It has grossed $50 million, but like a month before it came out, before it's coming out. See, I can't even get my past and future and present tenses right because I'm just so flabbergasted that this film has doubled the previous pre-sale record in terms of just tickets sold before a film comes out, which was The Dark Knight Rises, which was around $25 million. It's made over $50 million in North America alone. I mean, if you totted that total up from worldwide, you know, I know a lot of people in the UK who have booked their tickets. You know, I know people who have booked more than one ticket in advance. You know, I'm now booked in to see it twice already. You know, I mean, it is going to smash the records, and I was a bit iffy about it, but just looking at how it is, you know, I mean, they're really pushing it now. They're really pushing it. A lot of people are like, you know, oh, the regular Joe doesn't even know a Star Wars film is coming out. Well, they know now. It is everywhere, and they are pushing forward hard. And yeah, they're gonna break some records, and I'm hoping they're gonna topple Jurassic World at least. And it's interesting thinking about, you know, a couple of years ago, people were like, oh my God, 2015 is gonna be the biggest year for movies ever. You know, you got you know, Star Wars VII. The Avengers 2, you got Batman vs Superman, this is before that got moved to 2016. You got Mad Max 4, Mission Impossible 5, Jurassic Park 4, Fast and the Furious 7, Terminator 5, and Ant-Man, and Fantastic Four. You know, all these massive films are coming out, and they're like, this is just, it's going to be the biggest year ever. And it hasn't really felt like that at all, has it really? There have been a lot of great films, you know. Mad Max was great. One of the best films of the year. Didn't make much money though. Jurassic World was pretty enjoyable. Not a great film. Is now the third biggest film of all time. Go figure. And you know, films like Terminator 5, which are really enjoyable, and you know, didn't quite get the credit they deserved. And then you got like Fast and the Furious 7 and Avengers 2, which made big money as well. But the Avengers 2 probably made like $1 billion. I don't know. I haven't checked, but it made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, but it still seemed like, well, you know, it did okay. It's crazy to think that like so much money can be like in the equation and it can still be seen as kind of lukewarm. Like, I guess the critical reception to Avengers 2 was another thing, but it just feels like overall people have felt that this year has been lackluster with some of the big films. Spectre bombed 24. As well, I think that did pretty good in the box office, but the critical reaction wasn't there. So it's interesting how it works with the Force Awakens. I think no matter what happens, it's gonna break some records. It's gonna make a shit ton of money. I don't think it'll topple Avatar. It might just beat Titanic. And critical reaction, I really don't know how it's gonna go. And I could talk about that more, but I don't want to get into it. But I just we'll leave it for another thing. The expectations that the fans and the critics will have on the film and how that'll play out. I'll talk about that before we get to the film in December. But yeah, that's about it for now. Next time I'll talk about the next TV spot, and I'll be talking about George Lucas's recent comments, which just broke my fucking heart. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.
I don't know, Hot Second.